Dragon Ball R&R is the love child of MasakoX, one of the founders of Team 4-Star. Now, I cannot begin to explain how awesome Team 4-Star is, how awesome the Dragon Ball Abridged is, and how many years I have been watching it. I've been a die-hard fan for probably over a decade. So when I heard that MasakoX was creating a brand new Dragon Ball animation, I was completely on board, completely sold, and I completely love his animation that is a mix of animation and manga chapters that look like they're animated. So what is the story about? Well, basically Raditz is good. Now, this is a popular storyline for a lot of story artists, Dragon Ball fan manga artists, and Dragon Ball fan manga creators because Raditz is a fan favorite character. He's a character that the fandom has fallen in love with and wants to see return. Like every other Dragon Ball character that has come out besides probably, Frieza, people actually want him to come back. So when I heard that Dragon Ball R&R had a fan manga attached to it, I was head over heels because this is such an interesting concept. Basically what happens is Raditz falls in love with Launch, who's a character that the fandom seems to have forgotten besides me, and MasakoX apparently. They have a love child, and this child is named Ranch, who has a really fun dynamic with Raditz where she's very snarky, very sarcastic, and Raditz just basically eats it all. So this is something to look forward to in the Dragon Ball fan manga. Now when we get to the original page, the author notes, he states that he created this Dragon Ball fan manga as a birthday present for MasakoX. It probably was a comic short, but he decided to make it longer and make an actual story with it so that way he can continue to develop his Dragon Ball drawing skills, which, is extremely important. If you want to know how to do something, you practice, repeat, practice, repeat. Just keep on doing it. Eventually, you'll be halfway decent. So we begin Dragon Ball R&R the day of Zaidan with the city in ruins, as always seems to be the case, and Goku and Vegeta beaten up, which also seems to be the case lately, and they are facing off against Zaidan, which looks like a version of like Doomsday a little bit, mixed with like old fan art for Dragon Ball Z. Bad guys, that's what he looks like. So Zaidan ends up goading what seems to be a Super Saiyan Vegeta into attacking him, which Vegeta does, and Zaidan quickly moves out of the way without even really breaking a sweat. Zaidan instantaneously kicks Vegeta and pushes him what seems to be out of the fight, but is surprised by a kick from Super Saiyan 3 Goku, who he dodges and then offers a kick back. But to their surprise, Vegeta wasn't too far out of the picture because he is stoking up and charging a final flash. He launches it, and with the power of infernal screams, or probably just his ki, Zaidan ends up stopping the final flash and gaining control of it in what seems to be like a spirit ball form. This is where Raditz comes out of nowhere from Zaidan's blind spot and hits him with the double Sunday. If y'all know what the double Sunday is, that is Raditz's signature premier attack. Hits him full blast, catches the guy off guard. Raditz explains after hitting this guy with this that he was just waiting for an opportunity to come in and sneak on Zaidan, so basically letting Goku and Vegeta eat a lot of pain before he decided to jump in and catch this guy off guard, which is really cool for Raditz because it makes him seem way more tactical than either of these two. And I know Goku and Vegeta have had both their moments of being tactical and knowing what the fuck's going on, but most of the time they seem to have blunders, a lot of them, and it would be really cool to see Raditz be the more strategic out of the three. Zaidan survives the blast, and Goku seems to be the only one that notices because Raditz and Vegeta are just arguing about Raditz saving Vegeta, and this seems to be blocking any realization that Zaidan actually survived the blast, and Zaidan actually seems to be kind of put off by the fact that they're ignoring him. That's when all four of them are interrupted by the next generation of Z fighters. That's Ranch, Goten and Trunks. Now, I gotta say, I really like Ranch's design, mainly because her hair sort of seems very similar to Goku's, her face looks very similar to Launch, and her clothes look very similar to something that Goku would have worn as a kid. Plus, she has the monkey tail that also looks really classic and nostalgic. The big surprise, though, is what they did with Goten's hair, because this is not Goten's hair, at least not in Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball Super, but they made him more unique, and this is the approach they need to be taking in the future. When they're developing Goten as a character in Dragon Ball Super, they need to differentiate him before they put him out there from Goku, because right now he's basically just mini Goku with no feats of grandeur, nothing to claim, so basically a lot more boring. So changing his design a little bit is a step in the right direction to making him a better character. These pipsqueaks want a part of the action and they want to take down Zaidan. Now, the only way that I can see them taking this dude down is through fusion, and that's actually something in the animation. Goten sometimes fuses with her, Trunks sometimes fuses with her. They both sort of take turns fusing with her, and they argue about fusing with her a lot. Before they jump in to kick Zaidan's ass, they begin arguing on who is actually going to fuse with Ranch, and Zaidan seems a little put off on this even more because of the fact that the grown-ups are arguing, now they're arguing, and he seems like he's being forgotten or put on the back burner, and that is when we get our surprise guest. Now, the entire time that I'm reading this, I was thinking that at some point we're going to get a gag because this is supposed to be a birthday present, and here it is. We get MasakoX in manga form, and he is willing to give them some advice on what to do. And as you guys know, MasakoX is famous for what ifs, so he proposes a what if of all three of them fusing, and Raditz is having none of it because to him it's breaking the sacred holy lore of Dragon Ball, which it really isn't, because Dragon Ball Fusions has like 5 people fusing at the same time, so it wouldn't be that far-fetched. Then Raditz does the unthinkable, transforming into Super Saiyan and unsubscribing from MasakoX's channel, which is the gag. This is actually pretty funny. I love the fact they're adding a YouTuber in this, and it's actually his design, and I like that they incorporated the whole YouTube aspect, plus the fact that they are focusing in on something that he does and his channel is known for, which is what ifs. So at this point, Zaidan's completely lost, and he ends up going back to his ship and tells his crew, his motley crew, that they're going back to their own universe. He does not want to step foot in this universe again, and the Earth is saved thanks to the power of what ifs, and of course Raditz hating one what if that MasakoX had. Ultimately, guys, I definitely like this manga, mainly due to the fact that it's not only a joke, but it doesn't take itself too jokingly. Like, it's very serious at the very beginning, and then it's hyped up as this big thing, very similar to Dragon Ball Z, hyping up the villain, and then we find out that it's all a gag, and they even win with gag circumstances. But the really shining star of this manga is the artwork. I have no idea what the creator was thinking when he said that he needed to improve more of his artwork by making this manga. Dude, this is top-notch stuff. Like, the line work, the designs, the anatomy, just everything flows so well. Even the panels flow extremely well. This is a brilliantly, masterfully done, drawn Dragon Ball fan manga, and I would urge you to create more, because honestly I would love to see more of Dragon Ball R&R in manga form. Besides that, I'm gonna leave a link to MasakoX's channel, so that way you guys can go ahead and catch up on Dragon Ball R&R if you have not already. This is going to be Blackscape signing off. Take care, guys.